I gotta text Pascal that I'm gonna be late for Porcello's class. Yeah, sure. I gotta call Nick.
You know what I'm saying? That sound like a
Good morning, party.
Yo.
Yo, are you good?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I'm on my way to get you, alright? Don't drive, I'll be there in a little bit.
Alright, whatever. Let me know.
Alright, peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. That's a vibe. She wanna vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah. That's a vibe.
Yo, what's up? I'm outside, dude.
Yo, come inside.
Alright, real quick, I'm coming inside.
Come inside for a second. Alright, peace. Yo, dude.
Dude, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Dude, we gotta go. Let's go.
What?
Oh, it's your birthday? That's why you're trying to skip?
Dude, you gotta celebrate.
Dude, I can't be doing that right before school.
Come on, for me. It's my birthday.
Dude, I know, but like, come on. Like,
You're gonna put me down on my birthday?
I'll tell, alright. I'll take like a quick sip, right?
Alright, just one quick sip.
One quick sip, right?
That's it.
You sure?
That's it.
Alright, here we go. Alright.
Yo, I think the Roma game's on.
Dude, really?
Yeah, they're playing Liverpool.
Dude, this is actually this is like my first time ever drinking.
You'll be fine, dude. You're gonna have to take a couple more sips to feel it.
Sure? Oh, dude, I haven't seen the Liverpool game yet.
I know, dude.
Alright, we can chill here for like an hour or two. I don't have anything to do for a spirit.
Yeah, it's fun.
Alright.
Bottoms up, dude.
Alright.
You okay?
Yeah. Wow.
That's a vibe. She wanna vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah. That's a vibe. It's a vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah. That's a vibe.
Yo.
That's a vibe. That's a vibe.
Oh my god. He's gonna do it.
That's a vibe.
Goal! Goal! Pour me a shot, pour me a shot.
Hey.
Wanna vibe. That's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Yo, what day is it today?
What's up?
What day is it today?
It's a B-day?
Dude. Yo, we gotta go. It's 10:30. I have a test third period, dude. I have a math test. We gotta go.
Alright.
We gotta go. Come on. Get up.
Alright.
You have your keys?
Yeah.
Alright. You have your shoes?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm on. Alright. Whoa, dude.
You gotta go.
Alright, dude.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, let's go. We gotta get to school.
Yo, you good to drive?
Yeah. Dude, I'll just blast the music. We'll be fine, all right?
You sure?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
gotta get there quick, all right?
I did. Yo!
Yeah.
Alright, dude.
Allie, where are you going?
I have to run home and grab clothes for cheerleaders.
Can you please take me home? I really need my track bag today. I left it at home.
Sure, where do you live?
I live by the CVS.
That's so far.
Please, I really need my
Okay,
space for practice.
we have to hurry.
Okay. Thanks for taking me home.
No problem. Wait, could you put in your address?
Yeah. Here.
Thanks.
Yo, happy birthday, Losa!
Allie, look out!
Oh, no!
Somerset County Communications to Montgomery Police, EMS, Fire Companies 1 and 2. Respond to 1016 Route 601, Montgomery High School, for a motor vehicle crash with injuries and reported entrapment and ejection. Somerset County Communications to Montgomery Police, EMS, Fire Companies 1 and 2. Respond to 1016 Route 601, Montgomery High School, for a motor vehicle crash with injuries and reported entrapment and ejection. Repeating, Somerset County Communications to Montgomery Police, EMS, Fire Companies 1 and 2. Respond to 1016 Route 601, the Montgomery High School, for a motor vehicle crash with injuries, reported entrapment and ejection.
Completely shut down traffic. The traffic is backing up along Sylvan Road and Georgetown Franklin Turnpike. This is causing a lot of extra traffic in the area. The Jersey 10145 will keep you
medical exam room, we'll take it in tomorrow. Okay? Right. You did everything you possibly can do. Okay?
Drinking in the car as well. I saw some beer cans. All you do is focus on my finger. Without moving your head. Just with your eyes, slowly moving my finger. Alright, we're just some more vehicle crash here. Do you have any injuries at all? You okay? Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna demonstrate some tests for you. Yes. You can begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. The next test we're going to do? 1001, 1002, 1003. Until I tell you to stop. You understand those instructions? Yes. You can begin. 1,000, 9,000. Okay. All right, turn around. So please.
Okay, Emma, squeeze my hand, hon. There you go. Okay, how about this one?
Yeah.
My hand.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you move your toes around?
No.
No.
I can't feel my legs.
Okay. Emma, you're doing a great job. Try and relax, okay? We're going to help you. I'm going to take a blood pressure.
Can you call my parents?
We will let your parents know. You bet. You take a... We ready to move? Can you take a pulse while I do blood pressure?
Okay.
Emma, do you have
calm
pain?
down,
Where
you'll
do
be
you
fine.
have any pain, Emma? Where do you have pain?
My neck.
Okay.
Do you remember the crash?
No.
Do you remember what you were doing before?
No.
How old are you, Emma?
17.
Any allergies that you know of?
Pollen.
Do you take any medications?
No.
Okay.
Pulse 101. Okay. We're almost at the helicopter. Just hold your hands like that, Emma, okay?
Here.
Okay. Our blood pressure?
Yep.
Very good.
You're back at headquarters. I'm gonna take you out of the car, all right? I'll watch your head as you get out. I'll help you. All right. Go up. I'm just gonna search you again real quick. I know we did this out in a row, but we gotta do it again. Okay. All right, I'm gonna take these cuffs off you. When I do that, the hand that I free, you're gonna put on top of your head. Do you understand? Same with this one. All right, come down here. Have a seat on the bench here at the end. Put your hand down.
All right, look straight at me. Turn your head that way. Look towards the sink. All right, just sit tight, all right?
I repeat, you are required by law to submit to the taking of samples of your breath for the purpose of making chemical tests to determine the content of alcohol in your blood. Now, will you submit the samples of your breath?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I want you to take a deep breath and blow into the mouthpiece with one long continuous breath. Continue to blow until I tell you to stop. Do you understand these instructions?
Yes.
Look like you're blowing, all right? Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. All right.
I got in a car crash and I'm at the police station. They said that I'm gonna be taken to jail. I need you to come down here now, please. Yeah, right now. They're gonna be taking me soon. Just come down here. Bye.
We have an 18-year-old female crash victim. She has extreme trauma to the chest, deep lacerations on the forehead and arms. Her pulse is thready, weak, and declining.
Yeah, she's cool, she's pale, she's diaphoretic, very weak pulse. I've got no response as of right now. Just sinus attack at 103, she's at 98%. Guys, do you have a nasal airway?
Yes.
Let's try that, please. Yeah, guys, let's get some high flow oxygen going. She's barely breathing. You have that nasal airway yet?
Yeah.
Working on a blood pressure at him. I think we need to set up to intubate because I think she's going to either stop breathing or not breathe very well. I agree. Soon. Does somebody notify parents? They're going to need to know because she's in critical condition now. She's now down to 88/40.
Okay. Tank some fluids wide open.
Alright, I have an IV line in her arm. Right in the left AC. cardiac arrest. Adam has her intubated. Somebody needs to start CPR, so I would like you to start compressions.
Okay. Back
Okay,
up on
nice pace, nice pace, Adam. She's in a PEA, very slow PEA at 20. I'm going to give an epinephrine.
Yeah, give one epi.
13, 14.
Second, she's in VFib. We do have a shot.
The shock.
Everybody's clear.
Clear.
Wash
Clear.
yourself. Let go of the bag.
Shocking.
We've intubated her. We have IV access. We started a normal saline bolus. She's received 4 epinephrine and bilateral chest decompressions as well. She's received 1 defibrillation because she did have 1 episode of VFib. Since then, she's been back in asystole with no change. There was nothing further we could do, so we had to divert from the trauma center to here.
That's unfortunate
And
news.
she's still in asystole on the monitor, as you can see.
Okay. Well, as you all know, once you kind of reach that point, there's nothing more that we can kind of do for him. So, unfortunately, I think it's okay if we just pronounce the stop at this time. What's her name?
Allie.
That's her parents outside? Okay. I guess we'll talk to them then. Hello, are you Allie's parents?
Yes.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Crean. I'm sure you've heard Allie was in a bad car accident tonight. So unfortunately, I have some really awful news to tell you guys that she's died. She died in a car accident and we weren't able to save her life. I'm really sorry, I wish I could give you some better news. I just want you to know that they did everything they possibly could, but in really bad car accidents like this, they just have multiple injuries, multiple kind of things to their liver, their spleen, their heart, and there's just no way of kind of undoing that in a timely fashion. So I'm very sorry to tell you this news.
Can we see her?
You can. It's going to be a little shocking at first. She has lots of tubes and a lot of blood and things like that, so I just want to kind of prepare yourself for that before you go in there. And fortunately, that's sometimes a very rough thing to see, but just give you guys a few minutes to collect yourself and then let you go in there and see her. Okay. Again, I'm very sorry to have to give you this news.
Now in session. Honorable Michael Padine is now presiding.
And you may be seated.
Sit down.
Counsel, your appearances, please.
Arthur Scar, Your Honor, Prosecutor.
Good afternoon, James Ronco Lumbanucci, on behalf of the defendant Aaron Thomas, who I suspect will be joining us shortly.
Thank you.
All right, come on out. We're going to transport you over to the court. All right. He's going to handcuff you in the front, put these on you.
Okay, we got these two.
Are you Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Counsel, while this is a new matter, I understand that a plea arrangement has been reached. Is that accurate?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Scar, will you please advise the court of the charges brought against Mr. Thomas as well as the counsel to which he'll be pleading guilty?
Yes, Your Honor. On advice of his counsel, the defendant has waived his right to be indicted by a grand jury. And therefore, by agreement of the parties, the state shall proceed with an accusation. Therefore, in this accusation, number 2018-0503, the defendant, Aaron Thomas, is charged by the state with 6 indictable criminal charges and 7 separate motor vehicle summonses as set forth in the accusation against him. Upon Your Honor's acceptance of the plea agreement, the state will move to dismiss the remaining charges and motor vehicle violations.
Mr. Ronco, is your client pleading guilty as indicated by the
Please, Your
prosecutor?
Honor.
Mr. Thomas, would you rise and raise your right hand, please? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Ronco.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas, directing your attention to May 3rd of 2018. Were you operating a motor vehicle here in Montgomery Township?
Yes.
Who was in the car with you?
Nicholas Losa.
And prior to operating that car, had you consumed some alcohol?
Yes.
Can you tell the court how much and approximately when you began to drink and when you finished?
I began at approximately 7:30 in the morning, ended around 9, 10 o'clock-ish.
Now, would you agree that having consumed that alcohol, that you were under the influence and you could not safely operate your vehicle at the time of the accident?
Yes.
You're aware that as a result of the car accident you were involved in, 2 people died, correct?
Yes.
And they were the occupants of the other vehicle?
Yes.
You're also aware that a 3rd person was permanently paralyzed?
Yes.
Your Honor, I believe that would be an acceptable factual basis. I accept it. Mr. Prosecutor, what is the nature of the surviving victim's injuries?
Your Honor, based on medical information we've received, the surviving victim you mentioned will be permanently paralyzed.
Mr. Bronco, do you know what the blood alcohol content was?
Yes, Your Honor. He had a .11 blood alcohol content. We did have it reviewed by an expert and found no issues with that result.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, do you understand that with only 3 drinks, your blood alcohol level was way over the legal limit? That legal limit to operate an automobile. Do you understand also that because you're under 21, it's illegal for you to have consumed any alcohol whatsoever before entering operating a motor vehicle?
Yes.
Do you understand that entering into this plea arrangement, you are surrendering some certain legal rights? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that you're surrendering your right to a trial?
Yes.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the court? Could you tell me who you are, please?
Matthew and Amy Rosenthal, parents of Allison. Thank you for allowing us to be heard. My heart breaks for Nick's mother and father, Katrina and Guy, and for his sweet sister, Victoria. And my heart aches for Emma and her parents, Mark and Nancy, and what their family have endured. Mrs. Thomas, I can't imagine how you feel, and I am sure you cannot even begin to know how I feel. Aaron, I want to talk to you directly, and I hope you have the courage to look at me. The same courage you had when you decided it was okay to drive impaired. I want you to feel the full weight of what you did. Allie's death is not confined to my wife and me who are here in this courtroom. Allie's death is mourned by her older brother, her first and best friend. Aaron, I am not sure why you did what you did. Life is nothing but a series of choices. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. You took an action without thinking too much about the consequences. And by the time the impact of your choice hit you, figuratively and literally, it was too late for regrets. Aaron, I am not angry. I want to be, but I simply do not have the energy. I am mentally shattered and emotionally broken, and my grief knows no bounds.
This is Doggy. Allie picked this little guy out from all the stuffed animals in the toy store when she was 2 years old. She had to have him no matter where she went, and she would never let go of him if she could help it. A Doggy has been by Allie's side through thick and thin. He went with her to bed, to school, to camp, to overnights, to foreign countries. He now sits alone on Allie's bed, forever a reminder of our loss. Allie had big dreams and even bigger personality. People always remembered her for her heart and her energy. She was smart, passionate, and involved. A good student and just a good person. You took the breath away from our beautiful daughter, and you took our beautiful daughter away from all of us. It's hard for me to look in your direction, Aaron. I'm sure you had your dreams also. But your confidence and your bravado made you ignore your common sense and responsibility that day. Drinking and driving ruins lives. It's ruined mine, ours. Every day it's a challenge to even get out of bed. Kids are not supposed to die before their parents. Allie wasn't supposed to die before us. We were never supposed to bury our girl. You made a conscious choice, a bad choice, a selfish choice. And that choice had senseless, permanent repercussions. You'll live with that decision every single day for the rest of your life. We will need to live with that decision every day for the rest of our lives. We'll wake up devastated every single day, mourning the amazing person we'll never see again. Wondering what she could have become and how far she could have gone. It's a hole we'll never fill, and we'll feel the impact forever. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there anyone else who wants to address the court?
Your Honor, I was informed that the mother of Nicholas Loza would like to address the court.
Thank you, Your Honor. My daughter, Victoria, would like to say a few words first, if she may.
Absolutely.
Thank you for giving me the chance today. My brother, Nicholas Loza, passed away a year ago, the day after his 17th birthday. Excuse me. And now, to us, he will never be more than 17 years old. Words will never express the pain that I feel from this loss. My brother and I are only a year apart, and because of this, he was my best friend. We became very close after our parents' divorce and relied on each other during that difficult time. As students and young adults, we have been told over and over again to never drink and drive, yet you, Aaron, still decided to get in that car intoxicated and took away a life that was my brother's. How could you get into that car knowing that there was a possibility of killing Nick? How could you make that decision knowing the damage you could do to his friends and family? Nicholas, Allie, and Emma all ended up paying the price for your mistake. Nick was someone who was kind, generous, and lighthearted, and he will forever be in our hearts. I love you, Nick.
Thank you.
Never in my worst nightmare did I imagine I'd be sitting before you, making an impact statement on behalf of my son, Nicholas. Nicholas's life, which had so much promise, was taken from him just one day after his 17th birthday in a violent head-on drunk driving collision. Your decision to drive intoxicated has not only devastated our family, but has had a profound impact on the other victims, their families, and the community in which we live. Unlike you, my son, Allie, and Emma did not have a choice. They had no idea this was their fate that Thursday morning. My precious son's body was thrown through the windshield of a car, and I regret not being able to be there to hold him and comfort him during his last moments of life. Every morning is a struggle to get out of bed and go to work, trying to appear pleasant and normal so I can maintain my job. It is a daily struggle to engage in life's activities. All the while, my soul is screaming, my son is dead. The unbearable pain is always there. My heart is broken, and the heartache will never go away. In closing, I would like to say that I also know in my heart that Aaron and his family are suffering with us. As a society, we have allowed alcohol to become a prerequisite for everything we do. We will continue to bury our loved ones unnecessarily as long as this culture continues to glorify alcohol and neglects to take a hard stance against drunk driving. The thoughtless act of drunk, reckless driving can never leave an innocent family in perpetual sorrow. I am begging all of you to learn from this tragedy so Nicholas and Allie's death is not in vain. Our society must not tolerate drunk driving. But if Nick's death has touched any of you and you change your behavior or intervene when a friend is not fit to drive, you are honoring my son. I ask the court to understand the impact the verdict will make and trust that it is strict enough to send the message that this crime will not be tolerated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe the critically injured person, Emma Ricardo, would like to address the court.
People may think I'm unlucky because I will have to use a wheelchair for the rest of my life. But I can still go to school, I can still go to college, I can still hug my family, and I can still tell my parents I love them. I can still live. And a lot of people know that I've been a varsity track athlete since I was a freshman. I'm still learning how to live with the fact that I'm paralyzed from the waist down, and I'm still learning how to accept what happened. But what I can't accept is that people don't think about consequences. People don't think about how their actions will affect other people. People take life for granted. Your phone buzzes while you're driving and you don't even hesitate to check it because it won't happen to me or I'm a good driver. I'm a living reminder that there are consequences for bad decisions, and I'm speaking here today for Nick and Allie because they cannot. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, is there anything you wish to tell the court before I sentence you?
I'd just like to express my apologies to the families, to the Losa, Rosenthal, and Recaro family. I can never take back my actions, but trust me when I say that the memories of the events that happened continue to haunt me, and every time I close my eyes, I cannot help but picture Nick's body on the ground, Allie unconscious in the driver's seat, and Emma crying for help. I can't take back my actions, but I can say that I do hope that people will learn from what I have tragically done and hopefully never do what I did that day. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, I've listened to the victims, the ones that were able to address me, and I'm obligated under the law to weigh the mitigating factors with the aggravating factors. There are mitigating factors. You're young. You have otherwise a clean driving record. All reports were that you're a good student, you had good grades, you participated in extracurricular activities, and you were well liked by the students in Montgomery. But I also have to weigh the aggravating factors. You cut 2 young lives short. At 18 years old, you have no idea of the terrible hurt. Would you please stand? As to count 1, first-degree death by vehicular homicide and recklessly causing the death of Nicholas Losa by operating a vehicle in a school zone while under the influence of alcohol or drugs, it is the sentence of this court that you will be remanded to the custody of the Commissioner of the Department of Corrections for a period of 15 years. Because of the mandatory laws of the state, when one recklessly causes the death by another vehicular homicide, you are not eligible for parole for the first 85% of those 15 years. In addition, when you are paroled, you must serve at least 5 years on parole following that. Mr. Thomas, you and others should understand that even if your impaired driving did not take place within a school zone, you would still be required to serve at least 10 years. I'm also suspending your license for this crime, but that suspension shall start after the jail time concludes. That suspension will be for 20 years. You're also I'm imposing the mandatory fines and penalties of $2,000. As to count 3, first-degree death by vehicular homicide and recklessly causing the death of Allison Rosenthal by operating a vehicle in a school zone while under the influence of alcohol, you are sentenced to the custody of the Commissioner of the Department of Corrections for a period of 15 years. And that is consecutive to the sentence of count 1, meaning that it is after the first count, after completing the first sentence. As with count 1, you will serve at least 85% of those 15 years, or an additional 12 years, 9 months before you become eligible for parole. As a practical matter, sir, that means you must serve at least 25 years, 6 months before you are eligible for parole. You are now 18 years old. As a result of this one decision, this one dreadful decision, you will not be in society, back into society, until you are 43 years old. As with count 1, you must also serve 5 years on parole after being released, concurrent with count 1, and your driving privileges are suspended for 20 years. As to count 5, second-degree assault by automobile, in causing serious bodily injury to another, you are sentenced to a term of imprisonment of 8 years with a 4-year period of parole ineligibility. That sentence will run concurrent. As to driving while intoxicated in a school zone, you are hereby sentenced to 2 years loss of license, 60 days of jail, and you will have to perform 30 days of community service. Perhaps that community service will be speaking to young people in schools, and maybe some of them will listen to you when you tell them about the first-hand damage that you caused. As to reckless driving, there's a $250 fine, 6 months loss of driving privileges. As to cell phone use, there's a fine of $400 plus court costs. As part of the plea arrangement, the remaining counts and summonses are dismissed. Mr. Thomas, this is an extremely sad day for your family and for you when you are so young, but it's just the first of a lifetime of nightmares, grief-filled days for the many lives that you have ruined with your selfish acts, when one time you thought it would be okay to drink and drive. I wish you the best of luck where you're going, and again, you can only hope that a lesson to be learned by someone who will be out there listening. You are hereby remanded to the Commissioner of the Department of Corrections. Officers, he's now in your custody. Court is adjourned.
All rise. Court is now dismissed.